Hello and welcome to the first session of web application development using Flask. We have learned the Python programming language already. Now, how do we connect the web application development and Python together, that we are going to see in the Flask session. But I've heard about the Flask framework already. It's one of the web framework which is used to design the dynamic web pages with the help of Python programming language. So in this video we are going to see basic introduction to the Flask, as well as how to set up your system to perform the further practicals on Flask. So how to install the Flask APIs, plus how to work with any IDE available with the Flask. So let's continue. Let's see, what do you mean by a web framework? Web application framework, or simply a web application web framework, represent a collection of libraries and modules that enables a web application developer to write applications without having to bother about low level details, such as which protocol to use, how to manage the threads, or most of the time how to manage the database also. So framework facilitates us to make your application so much easily, which will work onto the internet. Okay, so that framework is combining together. Many libraries are available in it. We are going to see all of these facilities, methods and libraries in Flask in the upcoming sessions. So let's see what exactly Flask is. So Flask is a web application framework written in Python. It is developed in Armin Ronacher, who leads an international group of Python enthusiasts named POCO. Flask is based on the Workzug WSGI toolkit and Jinja 2 template engine. Both are coming under the POCO project. Okay, so when Armin Ronacher has developed that, so that many developers, many Python developer, enthusiastic Python developers were present, that way they are designing this particular framework, and they have looked from different point of view how to make use of this particular framework. And inside that, two things that they have mentioned, that is WSGI toolkit and Jinja 2. So let's see what exactly it means, and in our sessions also, in our practical applications also, we are going to see this particular things effectively. So first, WSGI, web server gateway interface. That's what the WSGI is. It has been adopted as a standard for Python web application development. It is a specification for universal interface between the web server and the web applications. That prime task it does. So what we have to interface web server. Web server means the server where all the web pages are stored. We fetch the request and then we retrieve that pages from the respective web servers. And the web applications. Web applications mean the client interface, like HTML, CSS pages that you have created. Based on that, you extract it and you make an interface between them with the help of the web server gateway interfaces. Now remember, in order to go ahead with writing the programs of Flask, I am assuming that you are knowing the knowledge of HTML basic, or if you are knowing the knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, it will be helpful to you, because it's not considered that I'm not going to teach you HTML programming there, because as you know HTML already, then already it's possible to write the web application using Flask. Now the second is Workzug. The Workzug is the WSGI toolkit which implements request, response object and other utility functions. Now what is request and response? So basically, when you have to create the dynamic web pages, dynamic websites, we are having a client and the server. Just like you open the amazon.in's website, you hit the URL, so you are the client. Okay, as you send a request from your web browser to the Amazon's web server, that is what we call as a request. And then when the request is received on Amazon's web server, Amazon will send a response back to you. Okay, so request and response kind of things are present there. Even along with the request, you can send some information also. We can send some queries also. We can send some session information, login information also. Okay, and many utility functions are present in it. This enables building a web framework on the top of it. The Flask framework uses Workzug as one of its bases. So Workzug is a part of WSGI toolkit, which is used to create a request and response interface using Flask. In the upcoming sessions of practicals, we are going to see how to create the request and response interface with the help of the Flask. And the last is Jinja 2. So Jinja 2 is the popular templating engine for Python. A templating web templating system combines a template with a certain data sources to render dynamic web pages. Template is just like a collection of multiple HTML or the web pages. We can combine them and we can call them with the help of a Python program. That is done with the help of a Jinja 2. Flask is often referred to as a micro framework. It aims to keep the core of applications simple yet extensible. It does not have built-in abstraction layer for database handling, nor does it have from the validation support also. Instead, Flask support the extension to add such functionality to the application. Remember, database we have to choose. You have to, for example, if you want to work with the SQLite database, you can make use of it. If you want to work with MySQL database, you can make use of it. It is not inbuilt available in Flask. So we have to create an interface layer with Python and database and can be connected with the Flask to perform the operations. Similar to that, it does not have the validation support also. If you want to validate the forms which are created in HTML pages, we can write your own JavaScript application also for the validation of it. It will not be the part of the Flask. So Jinja 2 basically focuses on the templating engines where different web templates designed using HTML or CSS on the JavaScript are stored. That also we are going to see in the upcoming session, how to create the templates using Flask. Now let's come with the installation. So if you want to install the Flask, so we need to install the pip command by using the Flask can be installed, or if you are having Anaconda system inbuilt inside your computer, so there also you can search for the Flask and install the Flask using the Anaconda also. So I'll show you where this Flask is already present. I'll just open my PyP's website. So PyP is the repository where all the Python packages are present and available. So you just check it out. Find, install, publish Python packages with Python package index. So if you search for the Flask here, okay, I'm just typing Flask, and you just can check the Flask is available for me to use now. Flask 1.1.2, okay, it's available to use. You can check it out. The information about the Flask is given over here. Flask is a lightweight WHI web framework designed to make getting and started quick and easy with ability to scale up to the complex applications. It began as a simple wrapper around Workzooc and Jinja and has become one of the most popular Python web application frameworks. Okay, so you just can check it how to install that. Here it's mentioned how to install. Pip install -u, u stand for the upgrade, and the Flask name is mentioned here. Remember that if you are using Anaconda, okay, I'll just show you Anaconda. So when you install the Anaconda, so Anaconda can also install the Flask. You have to open the Anaconda installer. Basically Anaconda is very big software. It will take some time for installation. It's basically focused on data science toolkit. But if you download the Anaconda, in Anaconda also it is possible to install. Or if you are having independent installations, we can make use of a pip install. If you are having Jupyter notebook, then also you can install by using this particular pip command. So here in my computer system, I can install the Flask by using the command. Just check it out. Sudo pip3 install. I'll just use -u. -u stands for the upgrade of it. Okay. So generally we are having a command pip install -u Flask. So here I'm using Linux. That's why I'm writing the sudo command in front of it. So it will hit the link of pyp.org and install the Flask. But in order to install the Flask, we have to make sure that Python is already installed in your system. So I'm available with Python 3.8 in my system, and I have installed the Flask 1.1.2. Just can check it out. Already I'm having the installation with me, and that I have installed the Flask. Okay. So if I want to see the list of all the packages present in my system, I can make use of a command pip3 list. And if you want to check whether the Flask is present, so I just can check it out. Flask, yeah, this is Flask 1.1.2, the current version of that package. Okay, Flask 1.1.2 I have installed in my system and it's available there. Python is already installed. Flask also I installed by using pip. And the third and most important part is that the IDE that I'm going to use over here, I'm using the IDE called as Visual Studio Code. So just check it out. I'll go to code.visualstudio.com, and from that I will download the Visual Studio Code. This is the common IDE used for the web application development. If you want to write the codes in other web applications in Python, this is very easy and facilitated. So you just check it out. This is Visual Studio Code. Currently I am having the Linux OS, that's why it's showing Linux flavors only. If you are having Windows, so just click on that and click this. So it will download the Windows flavor. See this one. Thanks for downloading VS Code for Windows. So it's Windows application itself, created by Microsoft. 61.1 MB space is required. So just download it and install. Okay. Along with that, if you want to install the Python extension, check it out here. Python is written. If you go there, go to the tutorial and how to install the Python in the VS Code is also written over here. You can check it out how to install the Python. Many things are written over here. We don't require in detail. Once the application, once the VS Code is installed, then it will be easy for us to write the code onwards. I'll just show you. So throughout whole tutorial, I'll be making use of this ID, Visual Studio Code. With the help of that, I can write all the programs in the Flask. So remember that Flask API first, and then the Visual Studio Code that you have to download and install in your system. If you're having any error or any kind of difficulty, so we'll just check it out, the documentation of it, which is present on the code.visualstudio.com website, and we'll get idea how to install that. I'll just show you how to use the Visual Studio Code. So just okay, so Visual Studio Code, just open your main menu and start the application of Visual Studio Code. So when it is opened, I'll show you how to use this. Now check it out. I am already using it. So a simple code I have created. I'll just close the Windows. Yeah, sorry, just a minute. Check it out. Yeah, so I defined the code already. So many codes I'm having here, and if you want to create a new file, I'll just open a new file here like this. Okay, check it out. A new file I have created. Yeah, Untitled 1. Here we will get the terminal. Below the terminal is present. Okay, and if I want to change the folders, I can change that folder also from here. If I want to open the file, many options are present here. So just like this, print and hello world. Okay, save this code by the name. Okay, so let's use the name hello.py. Okay, so program is done here. If you go to check the run option, okay, so you can check start debugging and run without debugging. So basically the web app framework requires debugging and without debugging also. I'll show that practically when you are going to do these operations. So run without debugging. So check it out. So this will be executed now. Program is executed and we are having error here. See, this is containing error. Okay, F5 is a shortcut key to run this particular code. See this one, F5. Wait a minute. See this. So code is getting executed and I'll got the output hello world there. So in this way the codes will be executed and you will get the output of this particular program on the screen. So this setup we require to work on because it facilitates many things in your system. For Django also I am using the same kind of editor to perform the operations. So install it. From next session onwards we are going to see the hello world applications using Flask. Thank you.